We're here in Airventure Oshkosh, down in the ultralight area, my favorite area, and I'm talking to one of my good friends in the business, Brian Melbourne. You're sitting in an airplane that's kind of iconic itself. So let's talk about this. There's a name on the side of that airplane here. We're going to look at it in the camera right now. Whose name is it? What does that mean?
That's Dick Rahill. Dick Rahill has more takeoffs and landings at the Oshkosh and Sun and Fun Air Show than any other pilot in history.
Yeah, I have to believe it. I haven't watched all of them. No, I don't know if any other person than him himself have done so, but one after another, and he made a mission out of getting back on the ground right away so he could take off again.
He's also the first one up in the morning and the last one to land.
Yeah, he really carries on. So this particular airplane now has got a new owner.
It does.
And that's exciting for whoever that will be. You got a kind of a storied name there, Mr. Buyer. But let's talk about some of the products that you're selling today. You said what's really got a buzz going on right now is Part 103 airplanes. So tell us a little bit about what Kolb is doing with Part 103, Brian.
Well, we've got a few things going. We've done a little modification on the fuselage sides on the Firefly to make it a little easier to get in and out of.
Okay.
That's on the tail dragger version. So that's got a little new fuselage design for 2016.
How does that work?
It's got a side more like this Firestar right here where it comes up the sides. The original Firefly had the bar that comes all the way up past the side.
Right, you kind of had to work your way into that.
And it gets a little tougher to get in and out of it for older gentlemen that's one of our main customers.
Right, so people like me, yes. So now you dropped her down some, and now it's easier to get in and out of. Kind of lean over and put your rear end down on the seat now.
So we've got one of those finished at the shop, and we're ready to start playing with that a little bit. And,
all right.
Of course, there's no change to that other than the fuselage side, so no big dramatic test flight or anything. And then we've also got the Firefly with the tricycle gear that we're working on. So we're going to have I guess we'll call it the Tri-Fly for now.
Tri-Fly. Try and fly. Not that, just Tri-Fly. I got it. But you couldn't get it here, and what's the problem?
Well, we're just busy.
That's good,
We've got a lot of orders overseas. We're sending a couple of planes to Japan.
Japan, okay.
Yeah, in Okinawa, there's a seaplane company over there, and they've got some grants from their government to play with some of our airplanes. So we're working with them in that. So we got some stuff to get shipped out. And they don't know I'm here right now, so don't air this.
And I understand you got some customers that are waiting on airplanes that wish you'd stayed home and kept working too. So
we almost just had to stay home this year, but it's just so important to be at these shows.
Yeah,
and be here to show people what
it's an important thing. All right, we're glad you're here, but I hope you can get back there and get caught up. However, it's the right problem to have.
It is. Yeah.
3, 4, 5 years ago, everybody was kind of going, "Oh gosh, I don't know if I can keep the doors open," and that's no longer the case.
No, we're working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Is that right?
Yeah,
wow,
we're really busy.
That's cool. Yeah. So then you got a 2-seater that you're working on. Tell us a little bit about
that's
that.
That's the Firestar 2SS. So side
2SS.
Yep.
And side by side. Now, people have heard Firestar with 2 seats in it before.
Yeah, the tandem version. That's what I'm sitting in now.
Right.
But this is actually the same wings, same tail feathers, same boom tube, same engine.
Just a different fuselage.
Side by side
to accommodate a couple of people sitting side by side.
That's right.
Is it going to be dual control?
It is dual control, yeah.
I mean, 2 separate joysticks or a center joystick?
No, center stick.
Center stick, and you share that. Okay.
That's right.
But dual rudder pedals. Each pilot's got rudder pedals.
Right.
So you could do some transition and training, that kind of thing. It's an experimental, so you can't.
Out there now.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many Kolbs are flying all together? As long as you mentioned
we're getting real close to 8,000 aircraft.
8,000. So, there's a few other names. Of course, Vans is kind of the leader in the bigger airplanes and whatnot. Randy Schlitter, Zenith, Rand's company, that is. They've all done some big numbers too, but 8,000's got to put you way up high on that list. I mean, your top 10 or something.
It wasn't
top 5
me,
maybe. I don't know.
Been a few people selling airplanes in the Kolb industry for over the years.
That's right. Yeah, it goes back to Homer Kolb. May he rest in peace. He was a fine man who started this whole thing. Still got his name on it.
Right.
Then his associate Dennis Souter took it over for a while, and then you had another fellow that got in there.
Well, we picked it up together. That was Bruce Chestnut that bought it.
Bruce Chestnut, that was his name, right? And now it's back to you and some other fellows. Is that it?
That's correct.
And you're still where?
We're in London, Kentucky.
And where's that?
That's about 40 miles north of the Tennessee line on I-75.
All right.
Right at the London Corbin Airport, LOZ.
That's why you talk kind of funny like that.
That's the fun. That's where the funny talk comes from.
I always like to tease you a little bit about that. But which of the lines do you expect, which of the aircraft, I should say, do you expect to have the most action in the next year, 2, 3 years or something
What
like
we're
that?
feeling right now is we're going to pretty much gear our industry or our manufacturing. We're gearing around the ultralight, the 103 legal Firefly, and the side-by-side Firestar.
So this is kind of a change. There are people that said, oh, I don't know, call it 5 years ago, just to pick a number out of the hat, when ultralights they're just not going anywhere anymore. It's been slow for a while, and it had been.
Oh yeah.
But in the last couple of years, and certainly here, we're in 2015 now. We often don't date these things, but I got to say this regarding that. In 2015, the interest in Part 103, not just from your company, but from a lot of companies, has been
and you know
way
that's
up.
That's what we're hearing here at the booth. You know, we're getting a lot of people that says, I'm looking at this, and this, and you're one of our options. Well, we haven't had that in a lot of years. You know, we've been one of the only ultralights sitting on the field for a long time now. There's several of them going again. That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. Actually, that'll make it better for you too, won't it? Yeah.
It's exciting.
It just shows the interest is there, and it's not some weird little thing. But let's review, like I like to do, what Part 103 gives you, or doesn't make you do, is maybe a better way to say that. No pilot license is necessary. You probably don't want to sell one to somebody who doesn't show you some wherewithal.
We don't do that. That's right. We like proof of training.
You're going to check out that they know what they're doing, but they do not require a pilot's license, so therefore no medical is required. You don't have to put an N number on a Part 103 legal vehicle. You fellas can build it, or they can do it as a kit, whichever they prefer, and deliver it to them, and they can go fly and get to have a lot of fun with it without much regulation or the government looking over their shoulders.
Right.
I'm hearing from people that that's what a lot of the appeal is. Nobody looking over their shoulders.
It means a lot to a lot of them just not to have any involvement from the FAA other than just staying within the regulation.
Right.
That's all that's required.
Regulations which can be printed literally on the front and back of a single piece of paper.
That's correct.
Yeah, there's some rules you got to follow. And of course, air sense and sense of responsibility about what you're doing, all those kinds of things. But otherwise, pretty straightforward. A lot of common sense, yeah, right. Because you're not being controlled otherwise.
That's right.
It's up to you.
That's right.
And a lot of people seem to find that appealing. Brian, a lot of great stuff from Kolb Aircraft. Been around a long time. 8,000 airplanes. I love repeating that number. That's a lot of smiles out there. Is how I interpret that. Where can we find you on the web so we can get even more information? We'll put it up on screen.
Man, that would be awesome. We're www.kolbaircraft.com. KOLBaircraft.com.
All right. Good stuff. Lots of information about Kolb. I think I've flown all the airplanes over the years.
I know you have.
And reported on them all, liked them all. Great stuff. Lots of other affordable aviation as well on BuyDanJohnson.com. Thanks for joining Brian Melbourne and myself here in the ultralight area of AirVenture Oshkosh.